maybe we can go into how oxytocin, how serotonin, dopamine, how those motivating, happy hormones react in the body and affect the other hormones, which then affect your intimacy issues and the bedroom.
Yeah. So, and most people don't realize there's a hierarchy of hormones. And with the hierarchy of hormones, I always like to consider, like I spent, the prime years of my life and hundreds of thousands of dollars on my medical education and to study estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, even DHEA. So all of those really key reproductive hormones that we focus on as a gynecologist and obstetrician. And then I find that, well, those are really minor hormones. And if you can compare it to a university or a school setting and say, okay, we have all these students in the university and each of them have their own goals, their own purpose, their own, passions, their own, idiosyncrasies, all of that good stuff. That's like all the hormone, all the, these minor hormones, estrogen, progesterone, even melatonin and vitamin D would be in this route. So all the students have their individual focus, so do our hormones. And now think of the professors at the university. So the professors at the university keep things in order, give direction and guidance and development for those hormones. And if your professors are, let's say, come to school with a hangover and they turn the lights down and just show a movie or whatever, there's disruption amongst that student body, without a doubt, right? They're not paying attention. They're not focused. They're not in alignment, all of those important things. And so those hormones, those professors of the university, I like to compare them to insulin and cortisol. Insulin and cortisol are two of our major hormones that really do affect our minor hormones in so many ways. And then if we think of the president of the university or the dean of the college, then we consider the most powerful hormone in our body, and that is the hormone oxytocin, the master regulator. And when oxytocin is absent or decreased or, then the rest of the, there's disruption among the rest of the hormones in our body as well.
Wow, I love the way you explained that, because in my practice and my passion is to detox people. And I feel like the two most prominent things that accelerate aging are insulin resistance and toxicity. And I know you talk about both yourself, but to think of insulin and cortisol as two of the main hormones that are affecting everything else, it just makes sense. So here we are focusing on insulin resistance and insulin affecting metabolic disease, heart disease, PCOS, dementia, Alzheimer's, weight gain, fatty liver disease, all of these things. We're not thinking about the fact that it could be affecting your female hormones and how you're feeling in the bedroom. And then cortisol being that stress hormone. And I know you've talked about acute stress versus chronic stress. Most of us are under chronic stress. And I call it the dirty cupcake, because you don't even get to eat that chocolate cupcake and enjoy it to have that weight gain happen, right? Because cortisol is a fat storing hormone. Well, what else is it doing? It's causing your body to create more fatty liver, to deplete your adrenals, to have all of these other negative side effects in your body. And that, of course, is going to affect your female hormones and your intimacy hormones and your oxytocin. Would it be fair to say that when cortisol's high, oxytocin would be low?
Absolutely. And that's the thing. There's this yo-yo situation. When cortisol is high, oxytocin is driven low, which makes sense. You're stressed. There's no time to stop and hug and, be kind and befriending, right? There's that stress. So you get into this isolation, fight, flight, or freeze mode. And so when cortisol is up for a long time, cortisol becomes suppressed from the paraventricular nucleus in our brain. So it becomes suppressed. And now you're in this dangerous state where cortisol is low and oxytocin is low. And this is the state of burnout. I consider it the physiology of burnout, physiology of divorce, physiology of disconnect, physiology of depression.